The terror attack in Colorado. Now we all know this asshole was an asshole, and he hurt a bunch of people in this terrorist attack in Colorado. He was apparently an illegal alien, and the funny thing is that the Trump admin is trying to deport his family, which I find hilariously funny, and the courts are already trying to block it. Now I don't know because see, here's the thing: if his entire family is illegal, then deport them. I don't give a fuck. Just if they're illegal, deport them. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not about being punished them for their father's sins. It's not that. Although you also have to remember that birds of a feather flock together. So it's entirely possible that his wife and his children share his politics, at least in some form. Although probably not to this extreme. I would not. I give them the benefit of the doubt. But if they're here illegally, all of that is irrelevant. Deport them. And one of the reasons I want to bring this up is because of all the rhetoric going on Reddit and on Twitch with the fucking Israel terrorism stuff, right? And the genocide nonsense. It is insane how much pro-terror shit is on Twitch and all over Reddit, advocating for violence, advocating for terrorism, and it's not being taken care of. And these sites are going to get hammer fucked. And it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to make videos about it. You goddamn right I will. And the reason I'm going to laugh my ass off all the way to the bank is because they deserve it. Is because the people that are moderating these platforms, the people that are in charge of these platforms, they absolutely deserve it. And I hope they catch fines. I hope they catch charges because they fucking deserve it. They know it's wrong. It violates their own fucking TOS, but they're allowing it because they agree with it. Like, imagine if the mods of Twitch were all fucking Nazis and they allowed fucking Nazi propaganda, Nazi fucking shit all over Twitch, right? You could fucking Zig Heil, show the Nazi flag, praise Hitler, and nothing would happen to you. You could praise the neo-Nazis who are doing terrorism and shit. Nothing happens. What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen? The hammer is gonna come down, and the ADL spokesman has already called out Hassan Piker on Twitch. Let me see if I can find the clip. What the fuck is going on? My keyboard is no longer working. Okay, it's working there. Why ain't no work here? That was weird. Anyway. Anti-Defamation League, the CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, repeatedly criticized Hassan Piker. Let me see if I can find the clip. Of course, that's not it. That's it. Dude, it's so annoying to never be able to fucking find anything anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I can't Google fucking anything because nothing ever fucking pops up. Here it is. Finally.
Thinking about the New York Times doing it, but all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about.
Why is there no audio? Oh, there is audio. My fucking speaker went out. Anyway.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs.
Gamer. Yeah, that's what he is.
awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this because the consequences are deadly.
Okay, so I showed this specifically because of what he is doing. Now, I don't like the ADL. I think they're full of shit. And honestly, we should. Well, I was going to say we should, quote, burn them to the ground, but I don't mean that literally. I mean that metaphorically. We should get rid of the ADL because it is it is antithetical to its own stated goals of, getting rid of Jewish hate. The worst thing you can do is basically make your entire platform about deplatforming and silencing people who disagree with you, right? Like the okay hand sign being white supremacy. Fuck you, ADL. You got exactly what you deserve, and I hope nobody fucking listens to you again. But unfortunately, people still do listen to these assholes. And even though I agree with him on this, that still doesn't mean I don't fucking hate his guts. Because he works for the ADL, and the ADL is a piece of shit, and fuck them. And I hope the ADL disappears in a non-violent way. But he calls him out. Hassan Piker is actively promoting terrorist propaganda on Twitch. So I don't think Hassan is technically doing anything illegal. I don't know how illegal it is to promote terrorist propaganda as a U.S. citizen. But it's against Twitch terms of service, and Twitch is not doing anything about it. And on top of that, it might be illegal for Twitch to host terrorist propaganda and still keep their, or not illegal. It might be, they might be able to lose their 230 protections if they don't get rid of the propaganda, terrorist propaganda. But there is going to be a reckoning. Because, like, what happens when the government gets involved? What happens when the government starts investigating Twitch for doing this, for allowing this to fester? What about when they start investigating Reddit? What happens when the people in the government start becoming internet savvy and understand what's going on here? Because one of the reasons why all of this shit has passed under the radar for so long is that so many people in our government on every fucking level are just completely illiterate on internet culture and how any of this works. But that's slowly changing. And there is going to be a reckoning for this. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it could mean that Twitch just disappears. Because it's entirely possible that Amazon just doesn't give a fuck. They just don't care. And they'll just get rid of it. Because they're probably making more money selling the back end to other places to allow them to set up streaming services like Kick. That the PR nightmare that is Twitch is just gonna, or they ban politics altogether, right? They do that. So I can't do this, nobody else can either. It really is one of those things where the ideological bent of the individuals involved are going to end up being their own downfall. It's because it's like this. Either they ban him for it, or they let it continue and hope it goes away. And if it doesn't, then it's going to completely destroy the platform. And it's only a few problematic cases, right? There's only a few problematic cases, and the worst part is it's entirely like ad unfriendly. So if Twitch wants to be able to sell ads at all, they're not going to be able to if this continues. Like, people are going to run away like nothing. Especially as soon as the connection is made between shit like this, right? And this. Now, is Hassan or anybody on Twitch actively promoting people to do this? No. No, they are not. But when you say that modern day Nazis are committing a genocide, and that those Nazis are here and that your country is helping them, what do you think's going to happen? We live in the information age. Everybody, including the insane and the demented, have access to the internet. And so this is exactly what it will do. And this is why, one of the reasons why promoting fucking terror shit is not good. I have watched terrorist propaganda on my channel. And why did I do it? To critique it. Because it's so not good. Like, I love how Hassan just goons all over it. And I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, that's some, like, they can't march in a straight line. They can't, like, they can't even keep the same tempo in the march. So much so that they literally had to only show like 2 seconds of an entire line of soldiers marching. And for those 2 seconds, they couldn't find 2 seconds of footage where they were all in lockstep and walking in straight lines. That's how bad their propaganda is. But they got good enough video editing skills to where if you're just a dumbass and you're not paying attention to any of that, it'll just fly right over your head. But almost every bit of it was just pure, unadulterated Hollywood bullshit. That's all it was. All of the actual like things that showed military might or the how squared away they are, how good they are, how strong they are, all of that was bullshit. It was all smoke and fucking mirrors. But it doesn't matter because that's not the point. But that's why I watched it on my stream, was to point out that they're all full of shit. And, well, yeah. They're probably going to get, I'm just going to stop right there. But anyway, I am worried about what this is going to mean for the internet going forward. Because if the ADL gets what they want, then they could potentially try to censor a lot of different platforms. Like, are they really going to stop at Hassan Piker? Well, no, of course they're not. Of course they're not. Not when the OK hand symbol is a fucking white supremacy fucking dog whistle. Right? This shit is on their website. I'm going to actually look it up. Let's look it up. Look up their website. Let me see if I can find, okay, the ADL homepage. Let me see. Hate symbols. Can we look at hate symbols? Let me see if we can find the hate symbols. Okay. Apparently their website is not wanting to work, so oh yeah, and not only that, there was another terror attack where two Jewish ambassadors, or two people who worked for the Jewish embassy, or the Israeli embassy, excuse me, apologies, who worked for two Jews who worked for the Israeli embassy, there we go, were murdered outside of it by some idiot hollering Free Palestine. And yeah, so it is crazy. Oh wow, okay, so they don't actually have, really? Okay, so yeah, they actually don't display many of these symbols. Where the hell? It really irritates me on how hard it actually is to find things now, just because there's so much information. Fucking irritating. So, okay, so we looked it up on Grok because, of course, this is the only search engine that fucking works anymore. ADL lists various categories of hate symbols, acronyms like white power, WP. Yeah, okay. '88, that's definitely a known one. Neo-Nazis use that one. They tattoo it on themselves for freaking Heil Hitler. Fucking morons. Slogans like "White Lives Matter" or "It's okay to be white." So "It's okay to be white" is a hate hate symbol, a hate slogan. Oh, it's often co-opted by hate groups despite appearing innocuous. Yes, there you go. There you go. Of course. And the OK hand sign, initially a 4chan hoax, but later adopted by some white supremacists as a signal for white power. Oh my God, dude. It's so funny. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. It was a 4chan hoax. It wasn't adopted as white supremacists as a thing for white power. The ADL literally pointed out that that's what it stood for. White power. They literally memed it into existence. It's so fucking stupid because the OK hand symbol, the circle game was you put the circle below your waist, and if you look at it, then you get punched in the fucking face or punched in the arm. Excuse me. So yeah, and then the Pepe the Frog. So this is what these people have done to internet culture is they have literally given our sacred cows to the Nazis. They understand nothing about internet culture. They understand nothing about who we are, and they give everything that we come up with that's supposed to be edgy and shit like that. They give it to the Nazis because they don't care. Yep. And then when you use those symbols, they can label you a white supremacist. Oh, here we go. So I literally looked this up on their fucking website, by the way. I want you to understand this. I had this on the other screen, and I typed in the search bar, hate symbols. Do you know what popped up? Not this. Not this. Not this. Fucking ADL. Anti-Antifa images are hate symbols. Fuck you. Fuck you, ADL. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, seriously, go fuck yourself. The Celtic cross, you gotta love that, dude. Got like a literal motherfucking cross. Just like the German cross. Is a hate symbol. Now, I agree. See, this is the problem. Is that they're saying that this is a hate symbol. When in actuality, what it is that it's fucking white supremacists co-opting a religious symbol. Just like they did with the swastika. And again, according to the ADL, we're just giving it to them. Crucified skinhead. That's ew. Ew. Anyway. Yeah, so I think we're about done with that. Yeah, I hate the ADL. I despise them. They can fuck right off. And the reason they can fuck right off is because of Pepe the Frog, is because of the OK hand symbol. It's because all of these things that are basically just, I think this is what it's boiled down to, is because we've made racism and being a Nazi or anything that's involved with right-wing extremism is so like outside the bounds that you can't do. How do you be edgy now? How can you be edgy? How can you flirt with darkness? This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. And so they've literally made this bullshit the counterculture stuff. Because that's originally what Pepe the Frog was. And even the ones that were like, you know, oh, they had a fucking SS uniform on, it's still just supposed to be fucking funny. There's not supposed to be anything more to it than that. But always, 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 they cannot help themselves. And honestly, I think most of this was just for power. So they could be important. So they could see, look at what we're doing. We're fighting all the bigotry in the world, when in actuality, all they're doing is shitting on fucking working class people who are far more uncouth and barbarian-like in their way of interaction than a lot of the people who work for the ADL. All these motherfuckers got like degrees and shit, right? They're all highfalutin motherfuckers. How many of these motherfuckers are actual like working class white trash? Bet you none of them are. Bet you fucking none of them are. Because if they were, shit like this, Pepe the Frog was hijacked by the alt-right. Dude, fuck you. You gave it to them, you pieces of shit. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's one of these things where it's like I never cared about the ADL at all until this. And now I hope they just disappear. I don't want like all of this shit has just made me want to do one thing. I don't give a fuck about Israel. I don't care. I don't care anymore. You know, it used to be, oh, they share intelligence with us. And I'm like, okay, so we're maintaining our, you know, global dominant hegemon around the world. But you know what? There are other countries in the fucking Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, like Qatar. Maybe we don't have to give Israel a bunch of money. And maybe we don't have to fucking bend the knee to their pseudo speech laws that they want to enact in the United States, to where you can't have a fucking funny, edgy conversation about any of this shit without fucking being labeled a goddamn white supremacist. So fuck them. Fuck them all. I don't care. Just get them the fuck out of here. Like, why are these terror attacks happening? Because apparently the Israeli state is genociding somebody. Okay, just fucking leave then. All of you just get the fuck out. Go back to the Middle East and go fight. Whoever wins, fuck you. Easy. We just stop. Because I'm fucking tired of I'm tired of Jew hate. I'm tired of Jews doing the same shit and hating the other way. I'm tired of them fucking subverting our bullshit. Right? For literally turning anything and everything that could be edgy internet culture into some white supremacist shit because some fucking asshole skinhead put a fucking swastika or put a fucking SS uniform on something. Fuck these people. Fuck them. I don't care no more. I just don't give a fuck no more. I don't. Here's my advice. If you're a Jew in the United States, get a gun. Protect yourself. You're an American citizen. That's what I care about. I don't give a fuck if you're a Jew. If you don't want to deal with that, fucking go live in Israel. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want nothing more to do with this. Because all it is doing is it is stirring the shit out of everyone to do crazy, stupid shit. And the left and all the people on Blue Team are memeing this shit into existence. I can't remember the thing. I think it was a video that Carl Benjamin put out the other day. Give me a second. I'll try to find it. I want to show you a symbol. History. There it is.
The trial that the left is currently going through.
Hi, Carl. How you doing? Love this guy. Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin, whatever his name is. You know him, you love him. Good guy. Palestine is the issue. Racism, capitalism, environmental terrorism, settler colonialism, patriarchy. It all revolves around Palestine. Fuck this bullshit. I don't care. I don't want to deal. Just go fuck yourself. I'm fucking done. Because the thing about it is that we can have a military / economic / power presence in the Middle East, and it doesn't have to be through Israel. Israel is not the only country in the Middle East. Israel is not the only country we can bribe to like us. Israel is not the only country that we can sell weapons to so that they don't fuck with us. Right? It's entirely possible we could do these things without Israel. We don't need them. They spend so much trying to get in the government that they lose touch with the basic person. That's probably the worst take I've seen in a good while. I know, right? It is absolutely insane. But for me, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just, fuck it. Like, why do we have to deal with this shit anymore? Right? Because this is the thing. If Israel wasn't doing what it's currently doing and sacrificing its entire, like, you know, Holocaust goodwill to basically ethnically cleanse Gaza, then maybe I wouldn't be so against it. Right? Maybe I would care more or something like that, or be more apathetic. But now I just want it to fucking go away because it's causing destruction in my country. It's stirring my people up to do shit that's stupid, right? Because all of this shit connects. And you may think this is stupid, but how many of the motherfuckers do you think who were attacking the FBI agents they were rioting against FBI agents who were serving a warrant for human traffickers and drug traffickers because they thought ICE was there, right? Those motherfuckers that are fighting with the cops, they don't give a fuck, right? This is what they believe. This is what they believe. And I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for fuck sticks like this asshole, I would probably be far more sympathetic to the Israel plight around all of this stuff. Like, I feel for Jews in general because basically most of the past 2,000 years have not been very good to them overall, as a people specifically. And the United States itself hasn't necessarily been either, considering, you know, we could have saved a bunch of them in the 30s, but we chose not to, and that was our bad. But that's not where we live no more, right? That was 90 years ago. Okay, Israel's got a country. We've been supporting them for how long? Like, I think our guilty conscience is done. So why are fuck sticks like this? Why are they trying to? Why are they doing this? Why are they destroying our culture? Why are they using their power of the Holocaust? Why are they using that to silence speech in the United States? Is it just because they want to feel important? Or are they actually afraid that if they don't do this, Hitler will come back? Well, I've got news for you. If you continue to do this, he's definitely coming back. Because if you don't allow people to just wild the fuck out, then they're going to do it anyway. You just won't see it. Because the funny thing is that Sid Vicious walked around with a goddamn Nazi shirt on, right? But it was a symbol of sticking it to the man because it was improper to do, and they were trying to shut him down. Everybody knew he wasn't a Nazi, but it was one of those things where it's like, you're not allowed to like show the symbol. Well, he was just like, well, I'm gonna show it anyway, you know. I imagine that when he was doing that, if the entirety of the left in the world had started actually calling him a Nazi and rioting at his fucking stuff, he probably would have stopped. Well, no, he probably would have told him "fuck you," but that's not what I mean. Anyway, I'm probably wrong about that. Actually, I take that back. It would have been much worse. But the point is that most edgy motherfuckers, especially teenagers, little boys, if you say this is verboten and they do it and you lose your minds, they got what they wanted. They wanted you to lose your minds. That's what they wanted you to do. They wanted you to lose your mind. And the vast majority of them, if you ignored them and just went about your day, they'd stop. Because it's not doing what they wanted it to do. It's not riling you up. But instead, this is what we get. Because, I mean, the thing about it is that this list is actually accurate in some forms. Like the 88 and the 14 letters, the 14 words, you know, those are all true, right? Those are all true. It is absolutely true that phrases like white lives matter and it's okay to be white have been co-opted. But that does not make them hate symbols or hate phrases in and of themselves. And to list it as such on your website is kind of fucked up. Nowadays, compared to Sid Vicious is that everyone has a platform and hundreds of millions of users to peddle their edgy shit. Yep. That's it. And not only that, it was a different kind of edgy, because like everybody that he was pushing back against were like, were basically conservative Christians, right? And of course, you know, the ADL and all them motherfuckers who are basically trying to say you can't say these things. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the more I think about it, the more I think Kanye is doing this for exactly that reason. It's like, you said I can't do this thing, so I'm going to do it anyway. It's like, it's not like he's got anything else to lose, right? He doesn't have access to his children or any of that stuff. He even says it in the song. The clean version is called Hallelujah, by the way. He even says it in the song. And I honestly think that, yes, he's crazy, but he's also he's pulling a Sid Vicious. I honestly think it's what he's trying to do. I do not actually think he's a Nazi, because that doesn't make any sense at all. Even a bit. Because because the thing about it is that you could be a fascist and be black, right? But a Nazi, the reason is because basically Nazism is fascism, but also based on race, right? And country of origin and a few other. Definitely not an actual Nazi, exactly. So could he be a fascist? Yes, but that's more of an economic governmental system and philosophy that encompasses like your entire worldview, rather than a, like, you know, I hate minorities, or I want to answer the Jewish question in a bad way, right? Like if I'm not mistaken, the fascist Italy answered the question was like, well, if they're fascist, it doesn't matter. If you submit to the fascist state, you're good to go. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And that's where they got like divided on that. Unlike the old rock and roll legends, Kanye is impervious to Kanye is impervious to drugs. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what the dude does, but he is losing his goddamn mind. What I do know is that I think Kanye might be president one day. I think it might actually happen. I think he just gonked his brain. Yeah. But I think he might be president one day. Probably going to happen. One of these days, boys. One of these days. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go get some more coffee.